Beneath those classy designs and hefty price tags of the legendary Rolex lies an intriguing side: the shadowy market for second-hand Rolex watches. Often snagged after enduring long waiting lists and secretive deals, these prized watches take a fascinating path from wrists to online platforms, their prices soaring like high-flying kites. So, given the growing difficulty of getting your hands on a Rolex and their limited availability, conversations about reselling Rolex watches from authorized dealers are heating up. And let's be real, if getting a Rolex was as easy as getting a cup of coffee, would they even be as coveted? For those not too familiar with the Rolex scene, it might come as a shock that selling a brand new Rolex isn't just a walk in the park. The Rolex market is a beast of its own. Before we dive into how Rolex keeps tabs on its watches post-purchase, let's take a closer look at the unique dynamics of this market. Have you ever wondered how Rolex keeps its eye on watches even after they've left the store? In this video, brought to you by the Opulent Oasis, we're going to reveal some of the key secrets Rolex uses, unraveling the mystery that has intrigued watch lovers everywhere. And if you haven't subscribed to Opulent Oasis yet, now's a great time to hit that button so you don't miss out on any future videos. Here's the deal. The skyrocketing demand for Rolex watches has led to a hot topic: flippers. These people are the ones who snap up a shiny new Rolex and then quickly flip it for a profit. Is this a big deal? Well, that's up for debate. But word on the street is that Rolex is trying to sniff out these quick resellers. Whether or not that's true is something only Rolex knows, but some reliable insiders suggest they're on the case. It wouldn't be surprising, though, given how keen Rolex is on making sure their watches end up with genuine enthusiasts. Let's be honest, nobody wants to be the guy who buys a Rolex just to fund their next vacation. Some authorized Rolex dealers, even though they aren't officially tied to Rolex, have taken matters into their own hands by hiring agents to keep an eye on online marketplaces where these watches get resold. Sometimes when they catch someone flipping a Rolex, they hit them with a buying ban for future purchases. It's like getting grounded by your favorite watch dealer. Now, Rolex has 3 main tricks up their sleeve to figure out if a watch has been resold quickly. Let's break down each one, shall we? But before we dive into that, why not subscribe and join the Opulent Oasis community? Stay ahead with our top-notch content. Back to the topic. Alright, let's dive into the world of Rolex serial numbers. These little numbers are basically the ID tags for each watch. When you post these numbers online, Rolex can use them to trace the watch right back to the dealer who originally sold it. If they find out a watch has been resold, they might just give the dealer a nudge to blacklist the reseller. That's why you'll notice a lot of online ads keep the serial number under wraps and skip the details on where the watch first made its grand debut. And it's not only Rolex keeping an eye on things. More and more retailers are joining the watch patrol, turning into the cool kids of the luxury watch monitoring scene. Now, speaking of serial numbers, each one is engraved with precision, offering a glimpse into the watch's lineage, like a genealogy chart for luxury watches. For instance, a Rolex Oyster Perpetual might boast a serial number neatly etched at the 6 o'clock position right beneath the crystal and only visible if you know exactly where to look. This not only helps maintain a bit of mystery, but also adds an extra layer of security to these prized possessions. So, if you're thinking about passing your Rolex on, remember it's a bit like handing over the keys to a very exclusive club. Better make sure you trust where those keys end up, or you might just find yourself on the outside looking in. However, some dealers have taken it a step further, hiring new staff whose sole job is to scour online ads and catch people flipping their watches. They focus on local online marketplaces where their customers are most likely to sell. When a retailer finds one of their watches being resold, they might blacklist the customer or, at the very least, send them a little reminder that the boss is watching. Another way Rolex might catch on to you selling your watch is through customer inquiries to authorized dealers. These customers usually want to authenticate their newly acquired Rolex. In 2020, Rolex's game changed significantly with the introduction of a new warranty card design. This new design no longer shows the name of the original retailer who sold the watch, making it harder for Rolex and its dealers to track a watch's history back to its first sale. Think of it like a mystery novel, where the clues just got harder to find, adding a bit of suspense to the whole process. Another way a Rolex dealer might find out you've sold your watch is when someone brings it in for authentication. This is pretty common, especially with local sales. Say you buy a Rolex and then list it on a local marketplace. If someone nearby buys it and later wants to authenticate it, they might go to the same dealer you bought it from. That's when the dealer realizes you've flipped the watch, like bumping into your ex at the same cafe you used to go to. It's awkward, but inevitable. The same thing can happen if the watch needs servicing or repairs. If the new owner goes to the same dealer for maintenance, the dealer will again know that the watch has changed hands. Obviously, this whole situation with Rolex has led to plenty of frustration among customers, and it's not exactly polishing the brand's image. But looking at it from a business standpoint, having more demand than supply isn't necessarily a bad thing for luxury brands. It actually ramps up the allure, making their products seem even more exclusive and coveted. One interesting detail is that Rolex can't track where their watches end up through the warranty card, since that warranty sticks with the watch, not whoever owns it. So they're a bit in the dark when a watch gets passed on from one owner to another, something not all brands have to deal with. This adds an extra layer of mystery and unpredictability to the whole Rolex scene, right? So if you're thinking about selling your Rolex and want to keep it under wraps, here are a few laid-back tips to keep things stealthy. First, keep that serial number out of any online ads. If you're posting pics, make sure to blur out the serial number on the warranty card, and if it's one of those older cards that shows the retailer's name, you might want to hide that too. Oh, and obscure the purchase date while you're at it. Consider selling your watch far from home or even abroad to really throw any trackers off the scent. Got an older warranty card? Advise the buyer to get the watch checked out at a different authorized dealer. It's like your own little game of hide and seek, but with a pricier trophy. Rolex ideally wants their watches to end up on the wrists of those who will cherish them for years, not just flip them for a quick buck. Unlike some other luxury brands that keep tabs on ownership, Rolex doesn't track sales or transfers through warranty cards, since these stick with the watch, not the person. The Rolex market is pretty dynamic, full of flipping and subtle moves between buyers and sellers. Whether or not Rolex catches on to a flipped watch often flies under the radar. So, if you're looking to sell soon after buying, try to keep it low-key. It's a bit like staying on Santa's nice list, slip up too obviously, and it might just put a dent in your standing with the authorized dealers. What do you think about the points we discussed in this video? We'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up and hit that follow button. This is Opulent Oasis, and we can't wait to see you in our next videos.